legal news stories is America's favorite legal analyst, Royal Oakes. This is the Royal Oakes Show.
Robbing people with a six-gun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Thank you, Mike Horn, and welcome to the Royal Oakes Show, and welcome to our co-host, Ken Jeffries. Ken, how you doing?
Hi, hello there, Kmart Choppers. How are you?
And our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. How are you today?
Very, very well. Happy to be here.
Well, gosh, guys, I think the first order of business is to resolve once and for all the Laurel and Yanni deal. Now, last week, you actually had whipped out your smartphone, Ken.
Yes, I whipped it out, yeah.
And you were about to put us to the test, but it didn't happen. But now, Jose, our board op, engineer, executive producer, he is going to issue the challenge. And, you know, it's interesting. The Laurel Yanni thing was all over the news. It's starting to fade, but we're going to vote here. But the LA Times had an op-ed piece, and somebody was saying, "Well, this is a cautionary tale. This shows we should be more open. You know, we shouldn't be quick to judge folks. People process things differently. So they're actually trying to read something into the Laurel Yanni thing.
Politically correct?
Yeah, I guess so. You're not impressed with the depth and the profundity of it.
Profundity, yeah.
Well, let's hear it. I want to decide once and for all.
All right, so Jose, let's play this and let's see what it sounds like.
Laurel.
No-brainer.
Laurel.
Okay, I'm voting Laurel, okay? And I'm
not
open to any other perspective.
I'm not going to say, at that time it sounded like Laurel. Before, previously, it has sounded like Yanni to me.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
Yeah.
But this time, I don't know why. Well, you were explaining last week about the technology and the high and the low.
Yeah, it might have something to do with the pitch, the high notes and the low notes. It also has something to do with your age and what your ears are
Jose has
like.
very sophisticated, sensitive equipment here, so that's probably
There's
why.
another very interesting auditory, perfect for radio, really, auditory experiment where where you think of a phrase before you hear the sound, and then you listen to it, and whichever phrase you were thinking it was going to say before you hear it is the one you hear. There's one where it says brainstorm or green needle. Those sound very, very different.
To me, they do.
Brainstorm and green needle. But if you think, okay, it's going to say brainstorm, you hear brainstorm.
Right.
If you think it's going to say green needle, you hear green needle. How weird is that?
Power of suggestion.
Yeah, you can influence yourself.
Yeah,
it's
very
bizarre.
Peculiar.
Yeah.
All right, so we love to advance the stories on the big show here. And the
how can I advance that?
It's hard to advance that one. But the Starbucks show, a Starbucks story, we've been advancing that because there was the Philadelphia racism business, and then there was the La Cañada Flintridge racism. And now Starbucks is advancing the story themselves because they're saying, oh, you know what, we're going to let anybody come in. We're not going to require that they buy a grande latte. They can stay, they can hang out, they can use the restrooms, they don't have to purchase. And everybody's saying, are you kidding me? This is going to be a homeless shelter, and the bathrooms are going to be drug dens even more than they are now. A lot of people are wondering, is this progressivism gone wild? Does anybody like the idea of saying, come on, y'all, come on, world, set yourself down in Starbucks and you don't have to buy any caffeine at all?
What about coffee bean and tea leaf now? Do they have to do the same thing? I mean,
I don't think they will. I think they're smarter than Howard Schultz.
Maybe they would say ours are for, well, they could actually, I guess, gain some business in saying our restrooms are for patrons only. If you want everybody else to use your bathroom, go to Starbucks.
Yeah, could be. Honestly, I think the employee's job of policing the environment inside and making sure somebody who doesn't, smells really bad or whatever and ruins the experience for the other patrons, the employees are still on the clock and still required to come up with a solution for that for the other patrons, and they'll still be required to do this. They just won't have the easy excuse of, you haven't bought something in 30 minutes, so I'm going to boot you.
Yeah, you're probably right. I got to tell you a little story about an elevator experience I had yesterday, and it has to do with the Starbucks situation. Remember in La Cañada Flintridge, a guy goes in, his name is Pedro, and he orders a grande latte, and the barista, who is also Latina, she is Latina, she types in a racial slur for Hispanic people that starts with B.
That's not
okay, and he gets it, and they offered him, a $50 gift pack card. So I'm leaving the office yesterday, and I'm with a colleague, and we're getting into the elevator, and I'm telling her, I just got an email from the UCLA Bruin Association. We're going to go to the Memorial Day parade in La Cañada, and the email, because I'm on the UCLA list, it says, UCLA Bruins will not be participating in the La Cañada Memorial Day parade Monday. Thank you.
What?
And I'm thinking to myself, and I say to my colleague as we're getting into the elevator, I wonder if the Bruins backed out of the La Cañada parade because of the racist barista in Starbucks in La Cañada. And I start to tell her, she didn't know about the story. And I said, this guy named Pedro goes into the Starbucks, and we're in the elevator with like 8 people. And I say, and the barista put a racial slur on the cup.
Yeah.
And, it starts with B, and all of a sudden, this Asian lady behind me, she goes, "Ah!" when I say that there was a racial slur on the Starbucks cup. And then there's a Hispanic guy who says to me, "What's the slur? I've got to know. I've got to know."
Oh, no.
And I'm looking around at 8 people, and they all are looking. They want to know what the slur is. What
And
am I
you
supposed to
say-
do? Now, if you were in my shoes...
Right.
Would you blurt out the slur, or would you just say, "Well, it starts with B," or would you just say, "I don't remember inviting you into our conversation"?
I don't know.
Pedro? No, that wouldn't go well.
Don't you
You'd
think
probably want to say...
You'd think they'd know.
You'd want to say,
think so,
I don't
I
feel comfortable saying it, period. Sorry. I'm very sorry. Or you could say, don't worry, I'm Hispanic, so it's fine, and then say it. And they might believe
I
you.
didn't say it. One of the people in the elevator said, "Could you spell it out?"
That
I'm
does
thinking,
not make it better.
This
No.
is a weird...
yeah,
You know what I was
That
thinking at
seems
that
worse.
point? I was thinking, I hope this doesn't lurch to a halt and we're stuck here for 9 hours. Because it could get awkward.
Yeah, it could get heated.
So fortunately, the elevator doors opened and we were just fine.
This time.
So we've got our 2 features here on the
So,
Royal
so
Oak
do,
Show.
what about the UCLA thing, though? I mean, it's
The
No-
the Bruins ain't going to
no
be there.
solution.
I don't
They're
know.
out.
What's the reason?
I don't know. Maybe they heard there were going to be Trojans.
That's probably
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna-
It is
we're
an
gonna-
SC.
We'll get
town.
into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into the
It's an
Trojan
SC town.
problems.
Wow.
So our 2 features on the show, we're going to get into the hot tub time machine, a dip back into the past. We're honoring the 50th anniversary of 1968. At the end of the show, Jose is going to play a fabulous song from 1968, and we're going to have our 2 morons of the week candidates. The first candidate, and then the second we'll have at the end of the show, and we'll vote. But the first candidate is a judge. You may remember, guys, this actually popped up a decade ago. He was a judge in Washington, D.C. named Roy Pearson Jr., and he goes to his dry cleaners.
Was Roy short for Royal?
No.
No, probably not.
So he goes to his dry cleaners there in our nation's capital, and he said, "I'd like my pants back, please, because, I can't show up on the bench without pants." I guess you could, really, because
You got a robe.
You got the robe.
Yeah.
But he wanted his damn pants, and they lost him. And he goes nuts. And he actually sues. And he sued for a total of $67 million for a lost pair of pants.
Well, that's
A
is
little
a
excessive.
Judge.
Yeah, this is a judge, yes.
Now, sometimes in the legal world, you run into people who don't have lawyers, who are representing themselves, and they make outlandish claims because they don't understand the system. They don't understand
but
how
this
to be
guy
reasonable. This
understands
is
the
a
system.
judge.
He hinged his fraud and consumer protection claim on a sign on the store that said, "Satisfaction guaranteed." And he pursued damages for each day the pants were not returned. And by the time the case proceeded to trial after 2 or 3 years, he added up the damages to be $67 million.
Did he have a $50,000 pair of pants that was lost for a
It's like
decade?
gold lame.
How-
Something Charo
maybe
had.
he figured it was a lawsuit.
Good point. Good point. So anyway, it was a pantsuit. Hillary Clinton would be
Imagine
involved
it's a
in
good
that.
thing Liberace didn't.
Wait,
It wasn't Liberace's pants.
It was a
that,
pantsuit?
No.
Okay.
It was a pantsuit, right? In a way, a pants lawsuit. So anyway, the bottom line is
I
he
get a
sues,
pantsuit.
and he makes an idiot of himself. And what's happened now is that he has actually been suspended from the practice of law.
Suspended?
He's
Suspended,
He's
yeah,
no longer
suspended.
on the bench,
Was
and
suspenders? I'm sorry. I didn't hear
for pursuing it and just not giving it up and being totally frivolous and unreasonable. So that's our first candidate for moron of the month. Another
Seems like a shoe-in.
there were some folks in the news this week,
tried.
guys. A very peculiar. If you want to look at the Crime Stoppers notebook, as Dick Tracy used to say, some very peculiar folks. There was a a fellow from Santa Rosa, Northern California, who was trying to walk through his neighborhood, minding his own business,
It's a lovely neighborhood.
carrying a bottle of cooking oil. The problem is he didn't wear any clothes. He didn't just have a pants issue. He had a shirt and pants and the whole thing.
that
Did they
makes
leave him
it,
at the cleaners?
that makes it a lot worse.
Joseph John Musso, age 63. Notice 3 names, just like the serial
Mass
killers and the
murderers.
assassination
Old, yeah.
guys. He has been arrested for loitering and prowling, lewd and lascivious behavior, resisting an officer without violence. How would he really resist the officer without clothes? Because I
Yeah.
would think you'd.
By the way, and what is lascivious behavior? I know lewd behavior. What
You
is
know it when you
Why
see
is
it.
it lewd and lascivious?
I think
Is that
lascivious, the technical violation, is really, really lewd. So
Okay.
he said he
for
did not
clearing that up,
resist.
Mr. Lawyer.
He's nude. He did not resist the officer. And you know how some people, protesters, they go limp?
Right,
That's
yeah.
probably what he
Oh,
did.
God.
I'm just glad. I'm glad
You know,
he went limp.
I feel
Yes, Connor, would
Yeah,
you
no
like to
clothes,
contribute
anyone
to the
limp.
there's
discussion?
Where are we
really
going?
nothing grosser that he could have been carrying than a big old bucket of oil.
A plastic bottle of cooking oil. He claimed he liked to rub it on his legs.
See, there we are.
Yeah,
There it
that's-
starts.
That's
He didn't
sort of
resist
doubtful.
arrest. He kind of just slipped away.
That's right. The other person involved with the law is a barber in Brooklyn, and a guy gets his haircut, and the guy's not happy with his haircut, and he's not shy, so he expresses his view to the barber. And the barber tosses him through a plate glass
Whoa!
window. Yes, for complaining it. One of the good barbers who didn't toss his customer through, his name is Free Small. That's an unusual name. Have you ever heard of the name Free?
No.
F-R-E-E?
Free Small. It sounds like Release Mickey Rooney or Unchain the Munchkins or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Anyway, so Free Small says, hey, I would have fixed the dude's hair if
Yeah.
you just asked me. I don't think it's good to throw him out the plate glass window. So then the bad barber runs away. Of course, you don't want to get arrested for cutting up your guy.
late,
First he
sure.
cuts him up and then he cuts him up again. But this is the part I love. The other barbers at the shop claimed they didn't know the name of the bad barber who ran away. Now, let's get this straight. He's in the chair right next to you.
Maybe it
Look
was
at the
his
chair.
first day.
Maybe you're very
Generous.
accepting of,
I don't.
of
I
these
just
guys.
don't get the whole thing. The idea, if I go to Supercuts, and if the lady cutting my hair took the clipper, the buzzer, and she buzzed a landing strip straight through the top of my hair
Yeah.
and left me with an inverse mohawk, and
You
she
look
said,
like Kim
"You
Jong-un."
done? Get out!" And I would be like, "Thank you very much." I think I have to tip on a haircut, right?
Yeah.
15%, maybe I have to go to 18.
Yeah.
The idea of saying to the barber, "You did a bad job," is so incredibly beyond my human abilities. I could never do that.
And it's probably so unusual. That's why he overreacted.
Oh, my God.
So the final item on the
part of the
Crime
plate-
Stoppers
yeah,
notebook.
go ahead.
We're advancing a story of bad behavior in fast food. Remember Tim Hortons, the lady? We don't have to get into
No,
the
we
gruesome
don't. No,
details.
we don't.
No, we don't.
She was unpleasant.
We're gonna
Now
have a
we
clean
have
week.
an equally unpleasant woman at McDonald's. She goes into in the drive-through, and she is in Albany, New York. She wants to get some fries. She orders fries. She waits and she waits, and 2 minutes go by, no fries.
Brutal.
They say, "Oh, sorry, we're the vat. We're cooking them up. Could you just take your car over there? We'll come out. We'll bring the
They're
going
gonna
to
be fresh."
Yeah. She's really angry. She drives over there, and suddenly she freaks out. She takes a Slurpee, and she throws it at the drive-through guy. Then she gets a gun, and she pulls it on the manager.
What?
She's unhappy about the delays, okay? Then she pulls out the homophobic card.
Oh, good.
She uses a slur against
Nice,
one of the
nice,
employees.
nice.
And so finally, she escapes in her car. Fortunately, there's videotape,
Security
surveillance
cameras,
video,
yeah.
security cameras. It's kind of like another version of Thelma and Louise.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, a little milder.
because she had a friend with her who tried to talk her out of this.
Honestly, that's disgusting. The idea that you would assault somebody who's just doing their job is horrifying. The idea you use a homophobic slur is horrible. The most disgusting thing is she wanted to mix a Slurpee with fries. That's got to be a crime
That's
on its own.
inexcusable. When we come back, our top stories: North Korea summit is off. Justice at last for Harvey Weinstein. Stay with us on the Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. Do you like burgers? Then experience the ultimate famous 50-50 burger at Slater's 50-50 in Pasadena, California. 50% ground beef and 50% ground bacon. Stop by at 61 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena and visit Slater's 50-50. Experience our full bar with craft beer and more. Play in our cool new game room. View the best sports in our Slater's 50-50 TV lounge. Try our Slater's 50-50 burgers by design, too, and all of our incredible food, including our Sunday Bloody Mary brunch. Check out our VIP event space for private dining and ask about our chef-inspired catering company with a completely scratch kitchen-based service. It's all at Slater's 50-50 under new management at 61 North Raymond in Pasadena. Call 626-765-9700. 626-765-9700. Call now, 626-765-9700.
Kanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Aloha! Experience your home away from home being beachfront at the Kanapali Beach Hotel. Begin your getaway relaxing on over 11 acres of tropical Hawaiian gardens at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Voted Best Aloha Spirit by Hawaii Magazine readers. Just walking around the grounds with all the tropical vegetation, relaxing poolside, or kicking back in the sun on the world-renowned Kanapali Beach makes you feel like you're home in paradise. There's a package to fit all your needs. Wedding, honeymoon, activities, private parties, great food, or just good old beach fun. The hotel perpetuates the Hawaiian tradition at its best. Call 661-0011 or visit kbhmaui.com.
Kanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So before we get to our top stories, guys, North Korea, Harvey Weinstein, and we were talking off the air about how we have a different approach here on the show. It's dessert first. Yes, we'll get to the top stories. We must talk.
The cool stories first.
Yeah,
actually,
the bizarro world.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
Fun
We go
stuff.
to dessert. And doesn't everybody love dessert first?
Yeah, and
Nobody
we need
does
a little bit of
It's
a break.
politically wrong. It's socially wrong.
You know,
But
we've
here
been hit
at
with
the
so much-
Royal Oak Show, we do it.
Well, you know what, and we've been hit with so much, just with so much stuff. Well, I guess bad news, if you want to call it that. But no, the Korea is Korea on, is Korea off. When the talks are on, the talks are off.
I know.
So
we'll get to that.
So we do the fun stuff first.
Yeah, and part of the fun stuff before we get to North Korea and Harvey Weinstein is the Obamas. They've got a deal with Netflix. Isn't this exciting?
Yes,
I was so
yes, they
worried
do.
about them sitting around the house,
Being bored.
Yeah. By the way, I think Obama is very concerned about income inequality. That was kind of a theme of his administration, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just out of curiosity, I just Googled it, Obama's net worth.
Right.
It's $12 million. There were $12 freaking million, and
pretty
he's
good.
been preaching about income inequality.
Well, he knows firsthand
Well,
just how big the inequality can
How
be.
severe and extreme the condition
Can I say
be.
something about
Sure.
that? And I think it's, in a way, in the defense of the Clintons, too. I don't think they had all this money before they became president.
You're right. Now
are-
they go
aren't
out
these-
and
these
they
are
get
after-
$300,000 a pop for a speech.
Yeah,
It's
these
wonderful.
are
Exactly.
post-presidential speaking.
It
fees.
is.
And
It's
I think
capitalism at its best.
No, but I think it came to the fore when after Reagan left the presidency, and did he get $1 million for
Yeah, he
speaking
went over to
at
Japan and he got the first big buck speech.
Yeah, and I think there was
$1
some kind of a
That would have been in the
100,000
early
maybe.
90s.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think and it was a little bit of a brouhaha then, but why not Sure, they should cash in. Why not?
Absolutely.
He told some jokes, so that was the ha-ha part of the brouhaha.
So I would suppose
Drank
though when he was
part.
talking about income inequality, he was still with the politician's salary.
Yeah.
Well, he may have been president by
you're
then.
probably right.
Who knows what? I don't know.
All right, so the deal is the Obamas have inked this multi-year deal with Netflix, and we're going to have Sara Mednick talk about the entertainment issues a little later. Maybe she'll want to weigh in on this as well. So here's the deal. The Obamas, Michelle and Barack, are going to have scripted shows, unscripted shows, documentaries. It's going to be exciting. And their assistant, he said, President and Mrs. Obama have always believed in the power of storytelling to inspire. And I didn't know that. Were you aware that the Obamas believed in the power of storytelling
He wrote
to
Dreams from
inspire?
My Father. That was a series of stories.
Very inspiring
in a way.
and very lucrative. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to make all sorts of money. And as you know, many times here on the show, we've been making movie trailers, and we hope to become wealthy in our own right.
We got to get in on that Obama
so
money.
we're gonna send the following
Don't we
movie
have
trailer.
to become president first, and then get the money post speaking fee. They post.
So Reagan got $2 million. We get a piece of that. Come on,
Jose. We're about to lay down a very important movie trailer track. If you could use the good tape for this one,
of course.
the especially
as
good.
opposed to the crummy tape. Or
well,
what?
sometimes
exactly
you save tape by running it faster. You sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah, we
You
want
don't
it going
that.
really fast, Jose, for this one. Okay, so we're going to do this in one take, and here we go. I'll kick it off. In a world where the truth can fall prey to the fog of politics, Walter Brennan is Barack Obama.
If you like your policy, Pepina, you can keep your policy. If you like your doctor, hey, who likes their doctor?
For the first time in history, a first couple will become movie moguls. Emily Blunt is Michelle Obama.
Who are you calling an angry woman? Cockney accent? I just might feed you to a pack of Wolverines.
He sought to transform America.
Income inequality is the scourge of the nation. Yeah, it's the real McCoy, too. Hey, hon, would you check out our net worth? I think we're ballpark $12 million.
She sought to make the White House a smoke-free environment.
Mr. President, this butt better have Susan Rice's lipstick on it.
Netflix presents The Obama Years in Celluloid. Now you can relive the wild 8-year journey to the land of left in the comfort of your living room. Special appearance by Elizabeth Warren as Sasheen Littlefeather.
I like To the Land of Left.
Go back to the cheap tape now.
That's nice.
Coming
like
to
the
a
Land
theater
of
near you.
Oz,
Coming
the
to
We're
Land
going
of
to
Left.
send this tape to the Netflix people. And guys, let's just fingers crossed,
Fingers
okay?
crossed. Hey, look,
My eyes are
they
crossed.
made Iron Fist, so we're at least better than that. That's all I got to say.
Iron Fist?
It was a bad one.
Speaking
I
of
hate to ask what the subject matter was
It's a
about.
Marvel superhero, but it was real bad.
Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Speaking of fingers crossed, North Korea. I mean, I think there's a chance that we're actually going to get back in the saddle. To me, I think it was a no-brainer for the president to cancel it because when Kim said, "Oh, you had military maneuvers, I'm not going to meet with you," if Trump said, "Oh, please meet with us," he'd go in with 2 strikes against him. So don't you think he had to cancel it?
No, I don't. I think that to take the high road, to look like the adult in the room, has got to be the goal. You want to look like the person who's being more reasonable and come in with a position of strength that way. To pull power plays in games is weakness because to have to pull a clear power play is itself coming from a position where you need to make a play, where you need, like, if you just don't care what they do or don't care what they say, it's better, it's safer. It's
Prediction, Ken?
the
Is it
adult
going to
in
get
the room.
back on track?
Yeah, probably, but again, he got into my button is bigger than your button routine again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll see what
Stay
happens.
with us on the Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. You experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps visit his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Seekers of luscious and appetizing gustatorial pursuits, indulge your fancies with steaks so absolutely yum-yum. Vegetarians have forsaken kale and Pilates and never look back. Fish specialties so fresh and delicious and chosen by King Neptune himself, and relish Columbo's Italian family specialties so delectable you'll be yelling out, bravo, bravo! And let's not forget Columbo's world-famous meatballs, and you've got to try their breakfast pizza. Oh, and jazz every night. Service that's friendly, not phoning, and at a price that'll keep you coming back. That's Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, Manja.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. Call right now. That's 800-485-8803.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. And in our famed D-Block, we're going to have entertainment insider Sara Mednick with a report on harassment in the entertainment business. But we have been talking about the top story, North Korea. And Connor, you think there's a downside to Trump putting the kibosh on the meeting?
Absolutely. I think it's all downside. I mean, first of all, it makes him look like he's not invested in the process. Second of all, it allows Kim and President Moon of South Korea to make these sort of moves that they're making as of in the last 24 hours. I don't know if it's day or night over in South Korea at the moment, but in the last 24, 36 hours, they had an unexpected surprise meeting at which they talked extensively and then embraced on camera. And now Trump looks like he's left out in the cold. So it looks like Cheeto Cancel Summit didn't actually...
Did you say Cheeto McCancel Summit?
Yeah, it didn't actually accomplish anything. Doesn't look like there goes his bid for a peace prize in this. Yeah. I'm sorry, you're just the angry, screamy guy on the outside yelling about, as Ken put, my bigger button than yours, and the two Koreas are going to come to some deal on their own. And you're going to look like a nobody.
There is a way for Trump to pull this out.
Okay.
To pull us whatever this thing is out of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
He calls up Kim Jong-un and says...
Kimmy baby.
Yeah. He says, I'll bring Rodman with me.
Oh, yes, that could be.
I'm serious.
Doug McIntyre on KABC was talking about, why not bring Rodman in the negotiations?
And as silly as it sounds, I think he's right, and because I thought of it too, and I thought of it independently, Doug. Sorry about that, but But I guess great minds think alike.
They do.
In case you're watching this out there, Doug.
He always watches. Always.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's strapped to the computer right now watching this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a good idea.
He absolutely should take Rod. As crazy as that sounds, but you have two reality show stars, Trump and Rodman.
Maybe
play
they'll cancel
Rodman is
Rodman.
his own,
Yes.
going to see Kim Jong-un. And
Yep.
what could possibly happen? That would be bad. Huh?
So the second big story of the week, of course, was Harvey Weinstein at long last being arrested there in New York. I mean, they're after him in London. They're after him in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles. Is it just me, or do you think maybe celebrity justice is the reason he's only now being arrested? I mean, this story broke in October. 80-plus women have been making the allegation against him, and only now, in late May, do they get arrested? I mean, doesn't that suggest that maybe this guy's got the place wired up to a point, but obviously now he's been
he did
arrested.
the perp walk in one sense. I didn't see cuffs on him. He had his hands sort of behind his back, and his arm was being held as he walked through the crowd of reporters. But there's a difference between feeling the pinch of the handcuffs and not. There's a difference between having your hands free in public or looking like a criminal on camera. So, celebrity justice. Does everybody else get that? No. As Dave Chappelle did in his famous sketch back in, I think, season 1 of his show, showed the difference between the Enron execs deciding, what day shall we surrender, versus the normal human being getting their door kicked down by the sheriff.
Right.
Did you notice that Harvey had 3 or 4 books under his arm, as if he was going away for a long time and would need reading material, when in fact, I think he knew he was going to get let out on bail. But he carried the books. One of the books was a biography of Elia Kazan, the famous movie director who used to be a communist. And in the 50s, Kazan was criticized by progressives for naming names. They hauled him up in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee and said, who are communists in the movie business, and he said, it's Bill and Hank and Mary, and they've never forgiven him. And so the suggestion is Harvey is carrying this book around to suggest there was anti-communist hysteria in the 50s, and now there's hysteria over the Me Too movement now.
Yeah, so that was that could
maybe
have been
that's a message. And his defense
Absolutely.
is going to be, look, I didn't invent the casting couch, folks. This was all consensual. And all these women are saying, excuse me, rape and horrible harassment. His defense is going to be they wanted parts in movies, and I asked them, and they said
his attorney essentially said that in front of reporters on Friday, Thursday, or Friday. It was on Friday.
Yeah, that's nuts to me. It's so unbelievable. Saying I didn't invent the casting couch is saying I didn't invent patriarchy and misogyny. I'm just a part of it. I didn't invent Nazism. I'm just a foot soldier. That doesn't answer the question. You're still the foot soldier. It doesn't matter that you didn't. You're using the fact that misogyny and patriarchy exist to justify what you're doing, which is like the worst example of misogyny and patriarchy you could possibly. You're not even pointing to something else and saying it's okay. You're literally pointing to the problem and saying, well, the problem exists, so it's not a problem.
The only thing you didn't say was the only thing you didn't say was just following orders.
Yeah,
so
that's
next.
The
Nazi
that's next.
Now let's look ahead and ask ourselves, how in the world does he get a fair trial? Because everybody knows this guy is a disgusting pig. I mean, with Bill Cosby, he was able to have a hung jury because it was just the one woman, Andrea Constand, plus one accuser testified. And Andrea had some baggage in terms of credibility.
It's true.
Then it sunk into the American public and the jury in Pennsylvania. 50, 60 people, Bill's guilty, out of there, go to prison. I think the same thing is going to apply. How do you assemble a fair, impartial, unbiased jury panel for Harvey Weinstein when we've been drenched in publicity, we've been dipped in this batter, and how can you scrape it off?
So does he get off, as they say, scot-free or whatever?
No, I don't think that's the answer.
How does that happen?
I think what happens is, first of all, you can move it out of an area, like New York City, where it's really publicity.
Try the case in Iowa someplace, or it's the stereotype.
Someplace where it's less intense. And secondly, you really, really try hard. You take weeks instead of days to pick jurors. Or you could use my solution that nobody likes, put lie detector tests in the jury room and hook up a person to a polygraph who wants to be on the jury. I know it's not 100%. Let's say it's 95%. So what? We're not putting them in prison. We're just saying, thank you, Mr. Liar. You can go home and lie to your wife now. You're not going to lie to us.
It's more
as
like
a juror.
It's more like 20%. It's not.
I don't care if it's only 1%. I want to hook these jurors up.
The problem is
they're doing what? The voir dire.
Yeah, and it is. Scientists do say that it's pretty darn accurate. Now, whether it's 85 or 90 or 95%, but the point is we're not hurting them. We're not putting them in jail. We're not taking money. We're just saying you can't be on the jury panel because the little machine there says you're a damned liar. Now, wouldn't you like to have some assurance that you don't have hateful lying jurors who might hate you if you're on trial for your life?
I'd like to have that assurance, but I wouldn't like to see it done with a lie detector test because those studies have shown that the lie detector test taker is really the one who determines what the results are. The way you ask the questions, the way you phrase things, the way you interpret the results, you can get whatever you want from it. And therefore, you could have the guy deciding who gets on juries just discredit all the people who are going to be for or against and be biased himself.
Yeah, who picks the lie detector? Who picks the lie detector?
Exactly.
I do. F. Lee Bailey would too.
Would they bring in a jury doctor? What about Bull on TV? What's it? Michael Weatherly plays Bull on television. You ever see that show?
Yeah, it's very highly rated. You know, F. Lee Bailey had an actual TV show where he and his pal, the polygraph operator, would have fun with liars because he was a big proponent of it. All right, so Connor, we're going to put you in the category of the 6.8 million people on the planet who are against my idea of putting jurors, on the polygraph machine. Let's talk about the racism by Donald Trump allegedly in his attack on MS-13, the vicious gang of killers. He referred to them as animals. They are animals in a figurative sense because they are brutal killers. And so some people said, oh, well, they are a Latin gang, and so he called them animals, and therefore he's racist. Don't you think that's sort of a transparent way to try to attack Trump yet again as a racist for this new reason, when in fact I don't really sense that he was saying it in a racist way. I just think he really thinks that's the expression that appropriately is applied to these people are just stone cold killers.
Yeah. And it was true. I mean, he didn't refer to all immigrants as animals. He referred to MS-13.
Regardless
of the fact that it went kablooey.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the fact that he didn't refer to all people of Latin descent as animals, the fact that he chose that word combined with his previous history of mistreatment of people of Latin descent and also horrible, terrible statements about them, about saying that Mexico is sending rapists and murderers to us, and it's part of a larger process by which he is demonizing immigrants in many ways, and then doing horrible, terrible things to them, like this week separating tens of thousands of children from their parents at the border, and then ICE in Arizona says we separated tens of thousands of children from their parents and then lost 1,700 of them. We don't know where 1,700 children are. 1,700 children are in custody. Now they're gone. Maybe they're dead. Maybe they're in sex slavery somewhere. Maybe they're dead in the desert. Maybe they just escaped. We have no idea where they are. Now, this is a system set up to persecute those people and punish them to try and deter people from coming to the U.S. very clearly. But overall, what you're really doing is torturing the people that have come already. And in that context, calling people like that animals who you are treating like livestock, that is clearly to me at least, racist. Despite the fact that someone could call someone else an animal without it being racist on its own.
Another thing Donald Trump doesn't like is pro football players taking a knee during the national anthem. And this story advanced this week. The NFL came out and said, solution. It's been an awkward several months, but here it is. If you don't want to stand during the national anthem, just hang out during that time in the locker room. Play cribbage in the locker room. Then come on out to the tumultuous cheers. And everybody who wants to stand, wants to be out there during the national anthem. So do you think Roger Goodell's creative solution is going to work out? I hear hear that NFL viewership is down 20%.
Yeah, it's down by a lot.
Which is stunning to me.
I feel like Raj should have maybe talked to a lawyer or two before he did it.
No fun to talk to lawyers.
Given that his employees, members of these NFL teams and coaching staffs and the rest, are attempting to exercise their First Amendment right to free speech and protest something. And many, many times throughout history, employers have said to their employees, "You're not allowed to protest in that way."
It's a private organization; they can do it. The bosses can tell them.
But they can't, though. You can't say to your employees, "You're not allowed to protest during work hours." You can't say you can't strike. That is illegal. That is a violation of the First Amendment. It's the First Amendment protects people's ability to, for example, go on strike or protest what their bosses are doing or protest something else while they are working in certain contexts in certain ways. You can't just put a blanket ban on all of that type of speech. Now, you can maybe come to a deal with them, as many times labor unions have come to deals with employers saying, we're going to strike in this way, we're still going to be somewhat productive, we're still, it's not going to be too disruptive, you're not going to lose too much money, whatever. And it's part of a negotiation process. But you can't just say, no speech of this kind, stay in the locker room.
It should have been part of the collective bargaining, though.
Absolutely.
The players union, I did a story in this, the players union said they might grieve this because it was not part of the collective bargaining. The NFL made the decision unilaterally.
Totally unilaterally.
Didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And
that's
the whole thing's just stupid.
I think it'd just be simpler if there's a simple rule. You want to play in the NFL, you're a Republican, okay?
That's play right wing. There are no. Let's play hockey. Actually,
a great response I saw all over the internet was this great meme. Rosa Parks is not protesting the bus, okay? She's protesting the racial inequality. The fact that she did it on a bus or that these guys are kneeling during the national anthem or near a flag does not mean that they are protesting the flag. None of them is saying, I hate the flag. That's not the point.
Mm-hmm. It's not, yeah. The other thing is regarding ratings down 20%, which I'm sure is probably a bigger concern to Goodell. But just real quick, I think people don't want to see people get hurt anymore. The issue of CTE.
Oh, the concussion issue is
that's
big.
Right. I don't think the anthem, the networks don't show it anyway. They cut away. They always show commercials.
You're right.
Why don't they require the networks to show the national anthem then? They're going to do that?
So as if this week wasn't huge enough already, it was Stormy Daniels' Day in West Hollywood on Wednesday, and I can't believe I missed it. First, I missed the CNN Income Inequality Town Hall with Michael Moore, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. I was kicking myself that I missed it.
Did you TiVo it at least?
Well, it was a tragic thing. You didn't hear what happened?
No.
Michael Moore ate Bernie Sanders.
Oh,
yeah. But the media covered it up. They called it.
You actually went there.
They called it a progressive diet malfunction.
And
I couldn't believe it. No. So let's get to West Hollywood Day. It was at Adult Boutique Sheila Ruse.
Right.
And it's a hot pink sex toy shop in West Hollywood.
Oh, it's not even like
it was named after a drag queen and a director of gay pornography. And, of course, our friend Rob Marinko had a wonderful Facebook comment. He said, why does Stormy need a lawyer to get the key to the city in West Hollywood? But he was there, Michael Evanetti.
Because he never met a TV camera he didn't like.
And he needs to raise some money. Now, she said she had 2 minutes of remarks is all she gave West Hollywood. She said, as a woman with 2 wonderful gay dads, I'm especially welcome in West Hollywood. What? And then the spokesperson of West Hollywood said, we're a sex-positive community. The fact Ms. Daniels has a career in adult films, we're not ashamed of it. So I think Stormy, first she's on Saturday Night Live, of course, stripping away any pretense of righteousness.
You had to get that into
but she's a celebrity now.
Yeah,
and more power to her. She can make money, but let's not consider her legal arguments as really serious ones.
Now, you said that she only had 2 minutes of remarks, as though you were disappointed that she didn't.
Trump talks for an hour and a half if you give him the podium.
I don't know if you saw her on SNL, but I wouldn't describe her. I wouldn't say acting is her strong suit, as she herself admitted.
She wasn't wearing a suit. No, she was wearing it.
No, you're right. She's not terribly good at that. And the final story we wanted to talk about in this block, guys, was the parents suing their son for eviction. So this guy is Michael Rotondo. And he's 30, 31. He's got a kid. He's lost custody of the kid.
Right.
And the parents keep telling him, would you please get a job? We love you. And finally they sued him to evict him. Do you think he's he's giving millennials a bad name, Conrad?
No, he's 30. Millennials aren't 30, are they? I'm 28. That's different.
Is there a cutoff?
Yeah, he's definitely giving us a bad day.
He says, it's really unfair to me and outrageous, man. Yeah, I don't want to stay here, but I've been trying to leave for a long time. They stopped feeding me. They cut me off the family phone plan. So
brutal.
Yeah.
Did Daddy promise to fix his car?
Oh my goodness.
I think so too.
The parents offered him $1,100 to help him find a place to stay.
What? They gave him $1,100 or offered $1,100 and he still wouldn't leave?
They were a little snarky, though. They wrote him a letter, and they said there are jobs available even for those with a poor work history like you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, but the judge ruled against him.
That's not how you get him out.
Yeah, he says, I've got money, I've got income, I just don't want to leave in 30 days. I want to be there in 3 months. After they finished the court session and he lost, they went home, they all had dinner at home. That had been awkward. That was awkward.
Get out!
And when we come back, Sara Mednick with the Entertainment Report. Stay with us on the Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Hey Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurants.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less.
800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. And today a special appearance, Sara Mednick, Entertainment Insider. So we wanted you on the program, Sara, to fill us in on your perspective on the harassment stuff. I mean, it seems like that's all people talk about in terms of the entertainment business, besides Disney's box office success with all the Avengers and so on. So what's your take on harassment in Hollywood?
It's been, excuse me, my voice. It's been a long time coming. Also from, I guess, a woman's point of view. It's the whole thing with the casting couch. It's just a very toxic environment that finally women have decided no more and have had enough.
So what do you think of Harvey Weinstein's defense, which is going to be, I didn't invent the casting couch, it's a reality, and it was all consensual, and so sue me, which they have.
Literally they are, but sure, yeah.
I think it's a weak defense, actually.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely a weak defense. If I was him, actually, I wouldn't use that defense. If you're going to, let's say, subpoena someone like Rose McGowan, who was one of his victims, I would use I hope they don't, but I would use her cocaine abuse as, a creditor or a character.
Is this breaking news? I hadn't heard about.
Yeah, she actually is right now. Right now, yeah, she's with her lawyer. There's some stuff I don't know much about, but all I know is that cocaine is involved.
This is a problem. You're absolutely right. That would be the strategically correct thing for them to do, and it means that the accusers, the people who are the true victims in this scenario, they get their lives ruined and they get dragged through the mud just because they've got to actually get up there and testify and put themselves on the spot. And so suddenly anybody with personal problems or mental health problems or drug problems or whatever in their past, it's like they can't come forward and they become an automatic victim.
It's actually, there was an article I read a long time ago about, it was from a psychologist. I'm so sorry if I forgot her name, but she basically points out why women don't come out and say things about what's going on in any work environment, not just the entertainment industry. It just, because it's the entertainment industry, it's something that
visible.
It's visible. People either listen with music or they watch with movies, television.
But wasn't the big lesson of the second Bill Cosby trial that the blame the victim, attack the victim defense utterly failed?
You're right, it did.
So Bill is going to prison.
It's failing now, but this article came up before the whole Cosby thing. Basically, it was saying that women just don't come out because most of their accusers are their bosses.
Yeah.
Or most of the people they accuse, that are their bosses. There are people who are too powerful. Like Morgan Freeman recently just came out.
Absolutely. That's a big story.
The voice of God. That was a stunner to me. I had no idea that was lurking.
It's actually, he also I talked to my brother about it. He's like huge fan of Morgan Freeman and loves him.
Who isn't?
Yeah, he's Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
I actually just read this today. I'm so sorry if I forget her name. She's the CNN reporter who broke the news. One of the.
She was an entertainment reporter, and I have to tell you that I didn't know who she was.
She was pregnant when it was at one of the movie premieres with Michael Caine. He did a movie, Michael Caine. They met during
Alfie.
Alfie, and he did a movie, did The Dark Knight with. All the Dark Knight movies with Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Oh, right. He was Fox in that.
Yeah, he was Fox and he played Alfred. Michael Caine played Alfred. Yeah. And what happened is he noticed something, she was pregnant. He goes, I wish I was in that.
My. Wow.
And they played that too on TV.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yikes.
and then the other person, besides Weinstein, if you don't mind if I go, is to Jeffrey Tambor. He's the other big one.
Yeah.
Is he really? I hadn't even heard about
him. Oh,
it.
yeah. The transparent guy. I loved him and Gary Shandling, but apparently
Jeffrey Tambor was fired. He was fired by Amazon, but he claims that he quit. What happened is in Arrested
maybe coming back now.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for being on the program, Sarah. There's just time to have our Hot Tub Time Machine segment. So, Jose, one of the best songs of the year 1968. Let's play us out and see if our professional DJ Ken can guess the song.
There we go.
MacArthur Park, Richard Harris.
Wow, you got it.
We have time for a moron. Do we do the moron?
I
go for the first moron.
We'll go with the first moron. But the problem is, Ken, you didn't put it in the form of a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Who was the moron?
Have a great week, folks.
Moron.
See you next time.
Hearing your favorite talk radio shows sound like this. What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more.